Hello everyone, welcome to the Metal Galaxy YouTube channel. For those who don't know us, we bring reviews, interviews and the Metal Galaxy news into your living room. So today I'm going to talk about a bonus review, and for those who already been following us know what this is going to be about. So subscribe below to not miss any news from the Metal Galaxy. So basically today I'm not going to talk about one album, but multiple ones, and it's Orphaned 30 years of oriented metal. And the very reason why I felt so drawn of doing this review is the very fact there is no band alike as Orphaned. They have such a distinctive music style, but as well clothing and mix of religions. It's like, whoa, a journey to just discover, and that's the very reason we had a chat with Cubby Ferry to learn more last year. See below the link, and on the base of this I just did this review, and the box is basically released just recently, and it's a great addition of 30 years of folk metal. And the topics I will discuss are the ID, the music, artwork, and in the end there will be summarize. So let's talk about ID. I think it's a terrific idea of Orphaned to just bring it out in CD form, and basically there are only 3,000 copies and I'm number 181, and it's a great way to just make something unique for those who want to learn more about Oriental metal, or for those who just are really into the band. It's like collector items. Yeah, I love this. But also the format is great because it's a very audio-based band. They have so much history throughout the beginning, how their sound developed throughout the years, how they developed basically from a death metal band to Oriental metal, and how a complete new genre was being born as well. The topics they just sing about God and Satan, battle between Arabic and non-Arabic, makes this format perfect to just dive in and focus solely on the message and the music development that you will hear in the various albums. So you will hear probably a musical side of Orphaned you have never heard before. So let's talk about the music. So the first album that got me into Orphaned is Alice One. And this album was an interesting one, as this is the most clean album they've done, according to Cubby. So yeah, I was listening to this and I was amazed at the Middle Eastern influences, and I just couldn't get enough of this album. And then I was hearing the next album, Unsung Prophets and Messiahs, and I was like, whoa, Cubby can crawl. He's kind of good at it. And then he switched back to clean focus, which I already know, and then to crawling. So for me, it was a very diverse album. But also they got Hansi Cursi from Blind Guido, which I'm a huge fan, on board. And for this reason, this album was like great. Also, it feels much more balanced than the previous one, as there are more influences as well on this one. Then basically I didn't honestly go into Orphaned much, but then I got Split for collection and I just started to listen chronically from 1991 until now. And the first album they've done is Sahara, and I was completely astonished. There's so much death metal in this one, and then if you read the booklet that comes with the album, it's not so weird, as Orphaned is mainly based on At the Gate, Morbid Angels as their influences. So I started to think, how is the rest of the sound going to develop, as this is much different than we hear before. Oh, then I went to the second album, El Nora Attila, and here you hear much more Orphaned land that you know nowadays, much more Mediterranean. And the very reason for this is, I discovered this thanks to this booklet, is that they dove into their culture. They just sat into synagogues, they recorded chanting, singing there, and you can hear this back in this album, and it's very Mediterranean. The next one, Mabu, perfectionized this concept much more. Yeah, this album has a lot of variety in instruments and Mediterranean influence. It's much more broader, and it centers around a concept. And then the next one, Never Ending of a Warrior, it builds further on these aspects, perfectionizing sound further. And then it was time to just re-listen again, Alice 1. And I must say it's the least album of Orphaned Land. As in this album, they were searching for something. They were very unsure what they exactly wanted. And yeah, it's like Kobe said, that he wanted to explore his clean vocals. But then what led him to the next album is that he decided that sometimes growling is necessary, that it expresses certain things. So as a result, the next one was much more balanced, much more focused, as the instruments and vocals were really fitting into what was expressed, what was being expressed in the lyric. And as a result, it's a much more sophisticated and balanced album, and I believe their best one due to this. And then the bonus CDs are a loose collection of songs they did before in a live audio format. First of all, it's really nice because you hear the audience chanting, clapping, everything. It's like you're in a live concert. But also, it's very nice to see the different songs from different periods, as there is a huge switch from the various albums, and hearing one song from this period to the other one, you really distinguish the difference between vocals as well as music style, instrumental style. It's a good comprehension of what I already spoke out. And yeah, with this album you will learn how Oriental metal was born from death metal. So let's now talk about the artwork. So the album is very simple. It's a black box with the name, with the title. And then here on the back you have chronology the albums, and on each corner you have the names. And I think it's fitting because if you listen to the whole album, it's more about the journey of 30 years than a real concept. As a result, there's not really a binding tape to just display on the box. And then if you open the box, every album has their original artwork, and I think it's a great choice because you get really an idea of the album itself. It's being visualized, but as well, every time you grab another album, you're just adding layers of time. So basically, despite the simplicity of the artwork cover, it displays exactly what the journey you're going to travel. So let's summarize now. So Orphaned Land is much more than a glimpse of light in the darkness. It is a band as well that one can only be amazed at. The band has evolved so much music-wise. And this album and the booklet that comes with Wind will truly showcase how they developed from being a death metal band into something more Oriental metal, and how a whole new genre was being shaped. And I realized as well, talking now, I might start out with a different album, with a different period, a different reason. However, there's one point I believe we can agree on. There is no band as Orphaned Land who had such a huge impact on the Oriental metal as well as the Middle East. It's a journey that definitely is recommended for exploring those who are into this kind of music or want to learn something new and thinking all about this. It feels for me a full circle, a band who started out as death metal and finding their own style, rethinking themselves at one point and coming back with the sophisticated songs and being pioneers at the same time in all these years of 30 years of Oriental metal. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this review. Subscribe below as more reviews, interviews are coming. And also, if you want, grab your own anniversary collision and this and see below the link. So yeah, that was it. Bye.